welcome to the Our Football Journal podcast. It's Wednesday, 16th of September 2020. I am Caleb John. Joining me today is George Paulos and Vishnu G. How are you doing, guys? What's up?
What's up? What's up, Caleb? How you guys doing?
What's up, man? We're doing good.
What are we
Yeah,
talking about
I'm
today?
doing. I'm doing great. And what else is there to talk about other than the return of the Premier League? We've been looking forward to it. It's just been 6 weeks, I believe, and we're back. And it's great to have the Premier League back, I would say.
Right off the
Yeah.
bat, I just want to say that I think Corona conditioned us. I didn't really feel the break too much, especially with the whole international fixtures as well. I
Yeah,
honestly,
I think there wasn't much of a break to talk about. Right? There was much.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it was a
yeah,
smooth transition,
it
and
was a
Yeah,
very smooth transition. But you know what does feel weird? I miss the whole game every day scenario that used to happen during the post-lockdown
the
era.
Festival of Football. Yeah, that was awesome. That was like
As
a
in,
game every single day. That was, I don't know, there was something to watch like all the time. It didn't matter like which teams were playing,
yeah,
wherever they were playing every league. It
it
was
was
really
it
fun,
was it was
actually.
beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I think I'm gonna get withdrawal just for that, nothing else. Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, the Champions League tournament, I would actually like to see that, be the format for the
the
Champions
the
League
de
going
facto,
forward. I
yeah,
don't,
the de facto standard,
yeah.
definitely. I think it
yeah.
makes the game more exciting.
I think there are some talks going on where they're actually considering it for next season.
There
Like
are, yeah, there
seriously.
are.
Yeah.
I mean, if I need to sign a petition, send me the link. Like, I'm in for that. That was really fun. Usually, the
Honestly,
Champions League just takes way too
yeah,
long.
it does, it does. I think all the players, sorry, all the managers would also love that as well. I can imagine Jurgen Klopp and Pep raving about having less matches every season.
Yeah, Pep shouldn't be complaining about having a lot of matches with that kind of squad. I don't know what he's complaining about.
Yeah, even Lampard too, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, let's actually
Yeah.
just get straight into it, I think.
yeah,
Uh, the first game was Fulham versus Arsenal. Did you guys catch the game?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Wouldn't miss it. First game of
Yeah,
the season.
so
Right? Yeah.
so what were your thoughts on that, Vishnu? Do you think Arsenal actually they look like a different team this season?
Yeah, under Arteta, ever since Arteta took over, there was a stark difference in play about how Arsenal are building up from the back, especially. The influence from Pep Guardiola is clearly visible as to how good they look on the ball. And no offense to Fulham, but they were really, really bad offensively. They created close to nothing in Arsenal throughout the game. Were very comfortable.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The Fulham were, they couldn't do anything. Like their midfield just seemed lost, and I don't know what
Yeah,
their plan is for the season. It doesn't look good for them.
You know
I
what?
know
You know
it's just
what
one game. Yeah.
bamboozled
I
me
think
through that game? It was Maitland-Niles' positioning. It was so weird throughout the whole game, so that he's a wing back, and then when they attack, he gets into the box almost, and or he's next to Aubameyang, and I think that really helps Arsenal on the attack, because suddenly now they're attacking with five with the fullback as well. And I think we've got to really appreciate the work rate that Maitland-Niles puts in to be in that position defensively when they're in the shape, and then offensively as when they start attacking. And I think that's the real credit to them to have such a workhorse. And I think it's really good that they kept him from Wolves. Wolves' grasp, sorry.
We'll just
yeah, and if you saw the first goal from uh, Aubameyang, if you saw the build-up, right, it's almost identical to the goal they scored against Liverpool in the Charity Shield.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And Bami
So
also signing more.
clearly not a coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah. How good was
Yeah.
Willian? How good was Willian in that game?
Willian.
What a
I
what
think
a
I think everyone wrote off that transfer. Like, I don't think people expected Willian to, have a twilight at Arsenal at the age that he is. But he clearly brings Premier League experience. He's been there, done that for Chelsea for so many years, and
Yeah.
he's just dynamic, I guess, for the Arsenal front three.
Yeah, I think he's a player who really suits the system with his defensive work rate as well. I think it's a player who Arteta would really like playing on the wing because he has no problems tracking back and he's also fast and creates a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
What about
And what does this
Gabriel?
mean for Pepe?
Yeah, that's a big question. That's 70 million pounds. So I've got no idea what Arteta is going to do there. I mean, it's good depth if you think about
Yeah,
it
I mean,
on the wing, but now he's got a real puzzle on who he has to start.
Yeah, and
I
don't sleep on Saka.
yeah, we are forgetting Bakayo Saka, who
we
is also,
Yeah,
in that position, and he's up. He's an upcoming, talent, and if he needs to break into that squad, would if you were Saka, would you go out on loan? Just thinking about having Pepe and Willian in your strongest position to compete with.
I don't think so because I think that Saka is someone that Arteta really rates, and he's also versatile. It's not just on the wing; he can also play as a wing back or a full back, as we saw last season. So I think he should be okay with game time. Pepe might be someone who should be a bit more cautious, but I think he'll see game time as well, considering how long the season is.
Yeah, you do have a good point there. Yeah, and
what do you guys think of Gabriel?
Aubameyang.
What do you guys think of Gabriel's performance? That was a decent debut, if I do say so myself.
See,
And for,
seemed solid at the back, and
I
he
mean,
got the goal. So
he did do
it's
some dubious passes in the second half, but I think for someone who's just been playing in another league and then for them to just drop into the Premier League and start the first game, I think he had a pretty good start, and I think that goal is
Yeah,
going to give him a lot of confidence.
yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
However, it is Fulham though, and Fulham didn't really show anything going forward. We'll have to see what happens in the next few games with Gabriel, when someone
Yeah,
more dynamic up front is causing him problems.
Yeah, they've
yeah.
got
With
Liverpool
Fulham,
in
I think
two.
one of the main issues. I think with Fulham, one of the main issues was not being able to start Mitrovic. Mitrovic is someone last season the championship who scored or was involved in rather around 40% of Fulham's goals. So to miss him from the starting 11 was clearly visible on the pitch for Fulham.
Yeah, Mitrovic is a very emotional striker. I think he preys off the emotion of the game, and that really fuels him when he's playing. So yeah, I think when by the time Scott Parker brought him on, I think it was already 3-0, and he just couldn't muster up anything. But in saying that, the second he came on, I think his first touch was a shot on target, and his second shot was just he got the ball, he just spun around, and he had another shot. So I think, like you said, the impact that Mitrovic brings is clearly visible, and yeah, it was a very big disappointment, I guess, for Fulham and Scott Parker for him not to be able to start.
Yeah, Mitrovic is that type of shithouse kind of striker. He plays really well in the box, and you can't really muscles people out of defense. I mean, if he was there to impose his physicality throughout the game, maybe Gabriel would have been exposed a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely agreed.
Uh, so the next game that was played was Crystal Palace versus Southampton. I think all eyes were like on Danny Ings to see if he can, continue his form from last season. But Palace and Roy Hodgson actually did a number on them. They were really good.
Yeah, easy made it pretty easy. He got
Yeah,
some good techers, and I think their front three is pretty good this season. I'm curious to see where they're going to finish. Defensively, I don't know. They're still a bit shaky. I think Zaha's going to do them a lot of wonders like he does every season. But I think it was a very good opening day performance for them, and good result, I guess, from a good Hasselhoff Southampton side.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I think especially in that game, Southampton were particularly poor. they were bad, if I could say, because that's not the Southampton that we used to. As in, they didn't create much except a couple of shots in the second half, and that really played right into Southampton's hand. Sorry, Crystal Palace hands, in which they just sit back and play on the counter, and they never recovered from being a goal down. I was disappointed with Southampton, to be honest.
Yeah, they had a lot of the ball though. They just couldn't make anything happen, especially in the first half, like you said. As in the
Che Adams was having a
Yeah,
really good game.
creatively they were.
I think Che Adams, like, ran till his socks could have burnt off his feet. He was working for everything, and he deserved more in that game. But Southampton as a whole, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
they were pretty poor. Let's see what they can do, moving forward again.
yeah.
First game, there's going to be, players are not going to be as fit as they should be. Match sharpness is going to be down. So let's hope Southampton can do better because we've seen them play much better last season.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and one thing I'd like to point out in that game was the use of VAR. Uh, like it's the first time I think we've seen a ref or in-game ref going to the screens and referring a decision and reverting it with the Kyle Walker-Peters red card. I think that was
Yeah,
nice to see. It's something that I expect more of this season.
yeah,
So
that was good use
that
of
was good.
VAR. It's usually not done in the Premier League as much, like going up to the screen. So that's good to see. Uh, the referee being more involved
Yeah, yeah.
with the decision. VAR could be doing better though. Just as in general, I would say I still stand by the fact that I liked it in the good old days when the game would just flow and the table would just sort itself out by the end of 38 games. Uh, it does help for cup games, to be honest. Though. Those controversial cup games, VAR can be very useful. That's just my opinion on
but I
on
guess
the
I guess
whole.
if they use a pitch side monitor, I think it really does help. I think it's they just reduce the scope of controversy at the end of the day.
Yes, for sure.
As in,
Completely agree. Yeah.
if the on-field referee just makes a decision like the good old days, and then not just leave it to somebody sitting in a room somewhere else, it just makes the scope of the controversy so much less. And I'm so happy actually that right from the offset, game week 1, we've got a situation where a ref turned over a red card using pitch side monitors. I think it was really cool. Yeah, definitely support that.
Yeah.
Let's move swiftly on to the game of the weekend, the game of game week 1. I would say Liverpool 4 Leeds, the newcomers scoring 3 goals at Anfield. Absolute scenes by the man bun FC, I like to call them. 4 players from Leeds have man buns.
It's
I
probably
still can't get over the fact that 3 starting in the starting 11 have man buns, but there must be something in it. And Bielsa is doing magic with these lads. Beautiful performance, I should say.
yeah.
Liverpool just get
I
just
think
doing what they do.
the intensity was something that I don't think many teams in the Premier League are used to. Though, and I think that comes with man marking as well, and it becomes very difficult for you when you have the ball. Leeds actually had more possession in that game than Liverpool. I think whenever they had a chance, they took it beautifully. The first goal that Leeds scored was outstanding. Um, Probably one of the best goals in the game week. Reece James kind of, took that one home this week. But I think definitely the amount of the close control, the first touch was impeccable. I think there was a lot of
Absolutely rinsed Alexander Arnold there.
yeah, and
Love
then
to see it.
yeah, and he took out Joe Gomez swiftly after, and I think it's just so much of confidence oozing through that lead side. I think they came there without any sort of apprehension that a lot of other Premier Leagues teams have when they come to Anfield. They came there with the pride of being EFL champions, and I think that's a big credit to Bielsa, and not just his tactics but the way that he motivates his players. But I think on the downside, the fact that he didn't change his formation or tactics in the second half kind of attributed to their downfall at the end. I think that's probably what did that outdoing in the end. So
I think it was, as you said, it was a real breath of fresh air to have a promoted team like showing that much courage and bravery to play their expansive style against the current champions Liverpool. But I think that's what we would come to expect from a Marcelo Bielsa side, and to line up in their 4-1-4-1, which transitions into sort of a 3-3-1-3 in attack. It was really beautiful to see, and I look forward to watching Leeds more this season. But might be against the drift or the common uh, what everyone else thinks about the game. I think Leeds were, at least from the scoreline, it looks like the game was a lot closer than it actually was. I think Liverpool could have easily ran away with this, because I think Leeds had an XG of, I think, 0.33, and they scored 3 goals, which is insane finishing. But again, not taking away any credit from Leeds, they still played a great game. But I think the match was not as close as 4-3, but still the best game of the week by far. Yeah.
Yeah, on paper, if you look at it, Leeds had more possession, more touches, and more passes on the ball. They had more clearances as well. It's just that Mohamed Salah, just doing what he does. People doubt him every season, but man backs it up. Man backs it up every season, and I'm just saying we should be, giving him more credit where it's due.
yeah, I think he had one of those,
Yeah, 3-season wonder now, right?
four
Yeah,
seasons, the
that's what we were.
four season wonder now. He's going into his fourth season.
4 seasons. Okay.
Four season wonder. I think there was a lot of 17, 18, sorry, 18, 19 Salah remnants. I think he had a very 17, 18, and 18, 19, I guess. I think last season wasn't as good as his other standards, but I think you saw a lot of what he could do. I think the other two members of the front three were pretty bad. I'm, I think Firmino and Mane didn't play too much of an influential game. Firmino didn't have a shot, a shot on target, nor did he create a chance. So I think by his standards, I was very poor. And I think Mane just looked very rusty. I don't know what you guys thought.
So
Yeah, I
Mane is going to
think
come good. We know this. But when are we going to draw the line realistically on Firmino? Uh, I can see, yeah, what he does for the team, but in my opinion, they should have got someone, a bit more attacking, someone who can score those goals, like a centre forward should. Firmino's been lacking for quite some time now. What do you guys think about that? Controversial, maybe.
I think I think Firmino is not a goal scoring option in the Liverpool team, although he can finish and contribute to goals. I don't think Klopp sees him as the main contributor to goals, similar to how he uses the midfield as well. So if you look at the midfield of Liverpool, they rarely have attacking contributions. It's mainly from the fullbacks and the inside forwards or the wingers. So I don't think it's much of an issue. Even if they had gone and bought someone else, I don't think he would displace Firmino from the starting lineup. But as you said, it would have been nice to add some depth there, because I can't look at when I look at the bench, I can't see anyone coming on and making an impact.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, actually, if you the midfield hardly contribute to goals. Wijnaldum hasn't assisted a goal last season, as in all the firepower just comes through the wings. And yeah, it would just be so refreshing to have somebody, on the bench that when Firmino isn't clicking, to just try things out in a new way and to not, drop into the midfield, be like an out and out striker, tweak up the tactics a little bit, see if anything, fruition happens. So yeah, I think that's going to be an area that's going to strain Liverpool this season if they don't, bulk up in that area.
I just thought Firmino went missing in that Leeds game. I didn't see him doing his usual pressing from the front that he usually does. Maybe I missed it. Pretty sure I didn't. He just didn't seem to have, the usual Firmino type of game. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on Firmino. Uh, And yeah, let's. But Liverpool look like they mean business again.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I have a feeling that the league is going to catch up to them though. The fact that they don't have that much depth and they haven't, like strengthened like the other clubs have. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I think next week is going to be a real test, going to the bridge and facing a very pumped up, fueled Chelsea side. And I think Lampard really wants to beat Klopp. I think more than any other manager in the league, I think Lampard really wants to get a one up on Klopp. I think he
Yeah,
and I think he's going to go all out, and he's going to give us as viewers a Chelsea performance of their lives. I have very high expectations of Chelsea when they come again.
yeah. So we'll move on to Chelsea when we get to their game and discuss them further. So let's move on from this game as well. We have a few more games and we have to look forward to next weekend as well. So the next game, and that was on Saturday night, was West Ham against Newcastle. West Ham losing like many people thought they would. It looks very bleak for the Londoners this season. It looks like time could be up for them.
yeah. I agree with that. If you, there was a hopometer survey that I think was done by the Athletic,
Yeah,
which
I did see
basically
that.
was a survey among, yeah, among the supporters to see how optimistic you are about the coming season. And I think West Ham fans were the lowest, with 8% of them saying they were looking forward to seeing next season. I think that just shows the sorry state of the club too, with regards to where they are right now. The fans are against the board. The owners don't want to back them. The manager looks like he has no idea what he's doing. They have a lot of players sitting in this squad not being used who were brought in by previous managers. Yeah, and they had a very, very bad performance against Newcastle. Steve Bruce's side just rolled them over easily. Yeah, that's where West Ham are, I
Newcastle
guess.
looked good actually. Uh, Newcastle looked
Yeah, yeah,
good, but they were like done favors by a very poor West Ham team.
yeah, I agree. Newcastle, actually, to be fair to them, had a good game. And I think Steve Bruce has done a good job in bringing players like Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth, and also Jamal Lewis from Norwich. Both of whom, or all three of them, having Premier League experience. So I think they're all good additions to the
Yeah,
squad. I see Newcastle being
definitely,
fine, maybe 15, 16 or something.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think
yeah.
West Ham are going to get the axe probably this season. I think the relegation battle is going to be pretty close. Not as Probably not as good as last season, but I think the out of the teams that are in contention, I think it's going to be pretty tight for all of them. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
What
think West
can
Ham
West
are a,
Ham to do though to improve this? They have some good players there. How do they
they
improve?
do. So I think the main problem for them is they have a lot of players on big contracts who are creatively good, but I don't think Moyes rates them. So that's where the problem lies. They have, if you look at the bench, they have players like Yarmolenko, they have Felipe Anderson, who on paper
Lanzini
look
as
like
well.
really good creative players, but they never seem to start. Lanzini as well, yeah. But they still start with Mark Noble. I mean, what's that about? Like, I don't understand that. So it clearly shows that David Moyes doesn't rate the players already there. I mean, so it's a so they I think they first thing they have to do is try and move some players on before they can buy, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of faith in the board as well. So yeah, I think
Uh,
Declan Rice is the most likely transfer out, and I think yeah that would be detrimental as
oh,
well.
he's gonna go for bags though.
And
Like
recently I
you,
checked,
you
yeah,
know, you know, like
yeah,
the English press love to hype up an English player. So he's gonna go for a lot of money. Who's gonna be interested in him? There were some talks about Chelsea. If I'm wrong, was it Chelsea?
yeah, it's still there. It's still there. He's rumored to be Lampard's number one target for one of the defensive midfield positions. So I think more than the club, it's Lampard who's pushing it, and they are Chelsea will probably make a bid this transfer window. Whether or not, but that again relies on player sales. Like I think Bakayoko is close to AC Milan, but yeah,
Yeah.
we have to
Wait, so
wait and watch
what
how
would that
that
mean for the Chelsea
progresses. There's
midfield?
nothing advanced right now.
So what would that mean for the Chelsea midfield, and who's getting
Sorry.
dropped? What would that mean for the Chelsea midfield, and will Jorginho or Kante see the exit? Because
You can't, how do you
So
get rid of
ideally,
Kante?
Lampard would want to. No, you ideally Lampard wants to move Jorginho on, but which was likely to Juventus. But after Sarri got sacked, there's not a lot of suitors right now. I think Roma's been touted as a potential destination, but Lampard would like Jorginho to go rather than Kante. But I think there's a lot of dead weight in the club. Players like Drinkwater, Bakayoko, all on big contracts. Even Ross Barkley. So I think there's some talk of offering a cash plus swap deal involving Barkley. Yeah.
yeah, I think I don't know how good that would be for Barkley. I guess he could probably get more game time, but pretty much would be like a demotion, if anything. But yeah, it's interesting times, I guess, in the Chelsea camp. I think we've talked about
Yeah,
Chelsea,
like
we've talked
Yeah,
about Chelsea
definitely.
so much. We
we've
have to talk
yeah,
about.
Chelsea keeps popping in, so let's just get that out of the way. I would say, uh, a good performance by by Brighton against Chelsea. I thought they did really well, especially after their goal back to concede from Reece James' absolute screamer was pretty hard done by the Brighton players would have felt.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Brighton played really well, and I think Chelsea were really bad. It was a really underwhelming performance, especially after all the signings. There was a lot of hype and expectation going into
There
game
was
week
high.
one. And yeah, there was massive hype. So, but I think it was a really underwhelming performance because I think it was more so about the formation that we played. So if you it was a completely different shape. We sort of lined up in a 4-2-2-2 in attack with Mount and Havertz playing in the attacking midfield positions left and right, and Werner being joined up top with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And Loftus-Cheek had a shocker, to say the least. So I
Yeah.
think none of the players were familiar with the system, except probably Werner. I think the system was tried out for Werner, and I expect to see more of it going forward because otherwise this doesn't make sense. This sort of experiment with this formation doesn't make sense if it's for just 1 week.
And Warner did come out and say that Lampard's style of football, they have previously talked about it, was a main reason he came in. So it probably is Lampard, adjusting his system to get the best out of Timo Werner. And if you can get the best out of him, that's actually scary for defenses all over the Premier
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a good adjustment to make. But what really baffled me was that he played Loftus-Cheek in that position when you have someone like Giroud who's ready-made for that role to be a target man and also link up play. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah.
Can we
League.
please talk
Standout,
about? Can we
yeah.
please talk about Lamptey though?
I was just gonna bring it up. The standout player of the
Yeah,
game for me was
That,
Tariq Lamptey. What a performance from the lad! I
that
can't
was
I can't even.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. I
yeah, he
think I think the amount of
absolutely
confidence,
skinned Alonso during. Yeah,
the amount of confidence that young lad has,
sorry, Jay, go on.
the amount of confidence that young lad has is amazing. Like you said, Vishnu, he absolutely destroyed Alonso on that wing, and he put in some really delicious balls into the box. And I
Yeah,
think
that sounded weird to say. Sorry.
as in it was so inviting. And he actually had a similar performance against Liverpool last season, post lockdown. He absolutely, was so confident on that wing. I think that was if it's not his debut performance, one of his early performances, and it was really. I think you can tell how much in that short period of time how much he's grown, And yeah, it's another right back to the England collection, I guess. I don't know what England's going to do with all their right backs. I think there was this post
Yeah, I
where
think there is 6 now, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could actually, I think that you could probably make a whole team out of them. Uh,
Yeah.
including the reserve right backs. So I don't know what England are going to do. It's
I
too.
mean, what England need to do is
I
get rid
mean,
of the waistcoat manager. That's that's number one.
Yeah,
Then you can
waistcoat fraud.
worry about
the waistcoat.
yeah, yeah. So that, and then you can worry about the right back problem. They need to worry about their manager first. So more on England when people actually care about international football. So oh wow, okay, I went
Yeah,
on a
I
bit of
think
a
George,
rant there.
just to answer
Anyway,
that question, what England are gonna do with the right backs, they just gonna pick all of them. So if you saw the previous squad, right, there were no left backs. He just picked a bunch
yeah,
of right backs,
true.
and
That's true.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's yeah. The second he gets the axe, I think it's good. It's happy days for England. Uh,
Gareth Southgate has been on honeymoon after that freak
yeah, the
semi-final
most.
performance.
Yeah, I think he's been riding on that World Cup semi-final for too long. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's time to
he
face
needs
the
to go.
music. Yeah, I think Euros are gonna be very underwhelming if it's gonna be.
This England squad, this exciting, young, talented English squad deserves a manager that can, really get that potential out of
Yeah,
it.
I would love to see
Yeah,
Lampard. I would love to see Lampard in that role.
yeah, maybe. But it's not gonna happen this season. So
Yeah, it's not gonna happen
but the writer for the Euros, it ain't coming home.
this season.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so I think Chelsea we've covered. I would say Reece James got man of the match in that game. Absolutely stunning goal and
Jesus,
an
what a
assist.
hit! What an absolute hit!
Yeah, it stayed
yeah,
hit.
it was an
It,
absolute stunner.
I don't think he
uh,
believed it, to be honest. I think when he hit it, he just looked at everyone and he's like, "Wow,
yeah,
I just hit a
it
worldie,
was.
guys." Did you guys see that?
He had a really good game as well. I think he was solid
Yeah, he
all
got an
throughout the
assist.
game.
He got an assist as well.
Assist as well. That was a really good cross. He was putting in good balls the entire game. So yeah, hats off to Reece James. Keep it going, son. And I would like to see Lamptey just keep this going, and that would be really good for him. He's actually Chelsea under 21. He used to play for Chelsea under 21. So could he return
He
back?
played for Chelsea first team as well.
Oh yeah,
Once, as in just yeah. He came on as a second half substitute against Arsenal, I think. We were trailing and he came on and he looked really nice, I think. But he wanted more game time, and with Reece James there, I think there was no option other than to let him go.
good for him though. Like getting time at Brighton is gonna help him a lot, and with the talent he has in those boots, keep it going. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing more of Lamptey.
Okay, and then on Sunday, the first game on Sunday was West Brom, newly promoted West Brom, mind you, against Leicester. And Leicester do what Leicester does. They absolutely destroyed Jamie Vardy with two penalties and the shithouse celebration. Love to see it. Jamie Vardy just loves scoring against West Brom.
Yeah, completely agree. And Leicester looked really good, if I could say. I mean, I can't think of any clear-cut chances that West Brom had throughout the game. I think they really shut West Brom up while creating chances for themselves. I think if I have to pick out one player, I think Castagne, their new right back from Atlanta, he looked really good, very, very attacking minded. He he
Got a
ended up
goal as
scoring
well.
the first goal even. He was
yeah, he
in the
got a
box
goal.
for the header. Yeah.
I'm not going to
I
talk too
think
much
this
about
Leicester
this game. I
team
didn't
would be
quite
one
catch it.
to.
So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I think this Leicester team would be something to watch out for. To imagine that they played Wilfred Ndidi as centre back. They didn't have James Maddison. They didn't have Ricardo Pereira. They just lost Ben Chilwell. So I'm just wondering how good this Leicester team would be going forward. I think they have a good shout of finishing fifth.
Yeah, I think for me, I just don't rate Justin James all that much. I don't think he deserves to be in that Brendan Rodgers side. I think they really missed Ricardo as much as they miss Madison. I think a lot of their defensive problems, especially when they come against the big teams, happen because of Justin James. I hate to call out the guy like this, but it was just something I've noticed, and then you can just understand the dearth of quality when you compare him with Ricardo. So yeah, I
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Ricardo is
think
sensational
we
going forward.
see.
So no, go ahead, Vishnu. Sorry.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think with James Justin, he's more of a utility player. I agree with you. He's not that great, but I think uh, Brandon Rodgers looks at him like a utility player who can play fullback on either side or as a centre back. So yeah, but I think he had a good game in the sense that he looked shaky, as you said in the beginning. He got himself booked, but after that, I think he looked pretty solid.
yeah,
I expected him to maybe be in danger of getting sent off, but
yeah,
yeah, but he had a good game. Yeah.
yeah, agreed.
And just to stick on with Chelsea, I mean with Leicester, sorry. Fabrizio Romano had tweeted 2 hours ago. Cengiz on the is going to be joining Leicester on loan with an obligation to buy, and looks like that's going to be confirmed.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what you
The
guys think
deal is
about
done. Really
Cengiz on the.
exciting player.
Yeah, I haven't heard too
I think
much
he's
of
a really
him.
exciting player. Yeah.
Yeah, how's he been getting on with the last few seasons? I know, like when he broke out, maybe was it a couple of seasons ago, or 3 seasons ago? There was a lot of talk about him. I haven't really followed him. Do you have any thoughts on Cengiz on that?
I think he looked very promising, but I think he was struggling for game time at Roma. Now I think Leicester would be his perfect opportunity to prove himself, I guess, in the Premier League especially.
Who does he displace from that Leicester side?
I
Does
think he
he?
would not start right away. If Madison's not back, he could play in the role which Dennis Pride started, but he won't start right off the bat.
Fair
Or
enough. Fair
Harvey
enough.
Barnes, again, another young
I,
player
re-
he could yeah,
I
ride
really
back
rate
in.
Harvey Barnes. I think Harvey Barnes is like a phenomenal player. Actually, he doesn't get enough credit. Maybe he goes under the radar too much. But he works his ass off for that team. And I don't know. I'm just a big fan of Robbie Barnes.
Yeah, I agree. I rate him highly as well. I think he shows a real desire to get forward. His work rate's really good, but I think what lets him down is his finishing. Gets into
Yeah.
really good positions. Uh, End product is lacking. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just just
So
quickly
how are we
round off
looking? Yeah.
the other two games, which was Tottenham versus Everton. I know we should have given Everton more time that they deserved actually with those new signings with
Yeah. Sure.
Alan, Doucouré, and James. They looked at James, I should say, looked really good. But Mourinho's talk. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I think before the game, I didn't have too much expectations for James. I Not even before the game. I think when the signing happened, I wasn't particularly pleased.
Yeah, you wrote him off. You completely wrote him off when you
I
spoke.
wrote him off. I didn't think that he would perform in this Everton side. I didn't think that he would perform in general in the Premier League. I was very much mistaken. I think he had a very good game. I think he looked very sharp. I think he was very creative on the ball. He had most number of highest pass accuracy and most number of chances created. I think as well. And yeah, a really solid debut performance from him. I think Allen not as much. I think James really took the stage there, but I think Allen was still very good at linking up play from the back. He did make a couple of mistakes in the second half, which is fine. I guess it's we're all human, but yeah, as in not still a very good debut performance from both of them. So yeah, exciting times in the blue half.
Decore
Oh,
was also like really
Decore was
good.
also very, yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that
That
was,
chance that like he, just catches up to Lucas Moura, who's absolutely rapid, mind you.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it was brilliant to watch actually. Decore
Yeah,
looks
that
exciting
was
for Everton.
very, very admirable work rate, and it brings a lot of life into a particularly dead Everton midfield from last season. I think Ancelotti got the midfield that he wanted, and good for him, I guess. I think he's gonna do a lot. I think the Merseyside derby is gonna be that much more harder this year, and I think Everton against the Big Six is gonna be, not smooth sailing and not easy to predict. So I think it's good. It's a good differential for the league.
Yeah, Vishnu, what are your thoughts on like where Spurs go from here? Uh, they look lackluster the entire time. Dele Alli was brought off at halftime for tactical reasons, according to Mourinho, and now there are links to Madrid. And Spurs are, looking to bring in
Yeah,
Reguilon and Bale. So where do they go from here?
yeah. I think especially in the latter part of the last season, post lockdown, Spurs were Spurs kind of overperformed their underlying numbers and were lucky to be where they are. So I don't expect Spurs to do a lot this season as well. So if you saw how they lined up, there's not a lot going in there. There's not a lot of creativity. There's not a lot of chances. There's basically Kane and Son are feeding off scraps. And Mourinho came out and said that at the end of the game, he said that he was not happy with the Tottenham players. He tried to blame the referee. I think we're seeing a pattern here. I don't think Spurs under Mourinho is gonna do well this season. Maybe Gareth Bale, as you said, signing for a loan might change their fortunes. But again, if with this team right now, I don't see a lot from Spurs.
They do look like they are missing Christian Eriksen quite a bit. They should have done better to keep him on the books, if you ask me. And yeah,
Yeah, I
the
agree
signing
with you.
of
I think, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I feel like the signing of Højbjerg also, it's just strange to me. They have so many similar type of players, just uninspiring. Just trying to stop the ball, never just have any highlights. A typical Mourinho player, but like another one of them, it doesn't really create any inspiration in that
Yeah,
squad.
yeah, I see what you're saying, but like I think the reason why Mourinho bought Højbjerg is because he sees Eric Dyer as a centre back from the season or even last season. So that's the spot he's trying to fill by Højbjerg. But as you said, they're missing creativity in the final third. Christian Eriksen didn't want to stay at Tottenham. I think they did all that
Yeah,
they could, and he just wanted to leave. He just wanted to get out. And I think
yeah,
if
fair
they
enough.
and yeah, even Bergwijn had a couple of good starts early on, but after that he sort of fizzled out as well.
I thought
Son and Kane
I
looked to
thought
be the
Doherty had
threats.
a I think Doherty had a decent game. I think he almost came close to scoring as well. I think I like
Under
the
the
way he,
True.
circumstances, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Moving from that back five into a back four for Doherty would, I feel it's going to create problems in the future. He didn't have to do that much running back in that Wolves team
Oh
as
yeah,
much as
definitely
he's
not.
going to
When
have to
you've got
do
when you got
in
people like Wilfred
Spurs.
Bolly at the back, I think he runs up with a lot more confidence in the Wolves team, whereas
Yeah.
now his work rate has definitely has to increase to make up for the not so great centre backs. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a new challenge
But
for
if you see the Yeah, but if you see how Mourinho lined up even last season, Serge Aurier was the right back. So as we all know, he's absolute bollocks defensively. So he was almost like a winger for Tottenham, which I thought that he was forced to do. But it looks like that is a feature of Mourinho's team going forward because, as you said, Doherty was brought in, who is a wing back, and he was at times very offensive, and which resulted in Richarlison finding a lot of space. James created, I think, five chances five chances for Richarlison, which directly resulted in him shooting. So it's probably a feature of the Tottenham team rather than a bug, but I don't expect great results from it. And if Reguilon also signs, I think that might result in Tottenham going to a back three with two wing backs and Reguilon and Doherty.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we could see that maybe Mourinho definitely has to, make some changes to that team and the system. Probably just, put on a smile on his face. My goodness, that guy is bleak. Let's move on to like just the final game of the game week. Sheffield United versus Wolverhampton. Both of the, dark horses of last season, I would say. Pretty good game, actually. Nice goals. Raul Jimenez's goal was particularly really nice, a good finish, something that you would expect from him. I don't know, where do you guys see Sheffield and Wolves finishing this season?
I don't see Sheffield doing as well as they did last season. They lack what I think the firepower to score goals, which was also evident last season.
Yeah.
But even this season, they have not improved and they looked very short up front. There are talks of them signing Ryan Brewster from Liverpool on loan or as a permanent signing, which could be a good addition to their front line. But I don't think they would do as well as they did last season. But Wolves, I think, might do as well as they usually do, which is sort of 6th, 7th, or 8th. So yeah, it was a good game. I think Wolves really deserved the win. And Roman Saiz was my best player on the pitch. I don't think he got man of the match. I think it was Jimenez, but for me, Roman Saiz was the best player for Wolves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Raul Jimenez was voted the man of the match.
It's so much of an attacking threat during whenever, especially in set pieces. So yeah, good for him. I also think that Podence is also playing a big role in this Wolves squad. I think he started coming out of like his shell, so to speak, at the fag end of last season. And I think that's really helped Nuno's side. I think Podence is a very versatile player and he's got, a couple of tricks up his sleeve. He's agile, he's, pacey, and he delivers good balls in like we saw this week. So I think that's a very interesting attacking option for Nuno's side. So I think
they have a lot of options in that position. As you said, Podence and Jota and the new signing Fabio Silva.
Yeah, I think there was I think Sheffield were unlucky not to score. I think they deserved one goal. I think Fleck hit the post if I remember right. And there were chances.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there were chances for Sheffield. So it was, I think they would feel hard done to not come away from there without a goal, but they probably didn't deserve anything more than that. So yeah, like you said,
they clearly lacked a proper front line. So
yeah, I would agree with you that they have some exciting players. Like they're actually really fun to watch at times. Sheffield, they try hard a lot, but yeah, I feel like the Premier League is going to catch up to them this season. I feel last season was just a freak result. Maybe I mean they did play really well. Don't get me wrong, but to be at that level where they did finish at probably was a freak season. Let's see what they manage to do this season. Probably going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who do you guys think might be the early contenders for relegation?
Fulham. I would go right off the bat. Fulham.
Probably Fulham, West Brom, and you've got a really
West Ham
race between Villa and West Ham.
West Ham.
I don't know. It could go either way, to be honest.
Oh, I actually rate Villa. I actually think Villa are a good side.
Villa actually not that bad. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. I think Fulham, West Ham, and West Brom.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah, and they
with
signed
Krishna.
Ollie Watkins from
Mm-hmm.
Brentford, I think.
Who
He looks
scored
I think he
yesterday?
scored 2 goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, and in the friendly against United as well, I think he scored two goals
yeah,
in
he
two
did.
games now.
Absolute mad lad. Ollie Watkins. Okay, let's quickly just round off our thoughts and predictions on like the upcoming fixtures for game week. Is it still it's considered game week 2, right? Even though the
Yeah,
Manchester
it
clubs
is.
haven't played.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So first game is Everton versus West Brom. I don't think we need to speak too much about that. Everton's gonna absolutely wipe the floor with them. Yeah, do you guys agree with me? Or do you think West Ham are gonna
yeah.
do madness?
Nah,
No,
I'm
I
probably.
think 2-0 Everton. I
Yeah,
don't see them scoring
yeah,
West
I
Brom.
concur. I don't think it's gonna be high scoring, but I think 2-0 is probably good enough for a prediction.
I would like to see a Hammers wonderful left foot free kick into the top bins. That's my prediction for the game. Uh, the next game on Saturday is Leeds versus Fulham and Ellen Road. No brainer, I would say. Leeds just look like they're too good for Fulham. Uh, Even though they would have, played last season, I think Leeds just have too much in the arsenal for Fulham.
Yeah, but I do see Leeds conceding though.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think Fulham could probably manage to score 1 goal. I don't think they're gonna get a point or anything. I think Fulham are definitely gonna lose, but I do see them score maybe 3-1, 2-1.
Fair
Yeah, I
enough.
think 2-1 or
Sabi,
3-1 is fair for me as well. I don't see Leeds keeping a clean sheet. Although I would like to see that, but they were too far open for me in the first game. So
yeah.
probably will concede.
3-1 to Manburn FC. Yeah, would love to see that. Next game, final game for Saturday is United's first game, Manchester United's first game against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace obviously already played in game week 1. So I feel United's going to win. I don't know how convincing it's going to be. Uh, Maybe 2-0, I would say.
I I don't know. I think
I think it'd be much more closer.
yeah, I think it's gonna
I
be like
think
a
it'd be
1-0.
sort of a 1-0.
Yeah, even me.
Yeah,
I
I see Crystal Palace parking the bus really well, and probably maybe a late penalty like United always does it. So 1-0 is where I see that.
yeah,
Yeah,
even me. But
with Van de Beek getting all those penalties, yeah, it could be 2-0 or 3-0. I can see like 3 penalties going United's way for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but
You never know what
no, I
United
think
will
United
pull
have
out
a bit.
against.
Yeah, United have a bit more than bit more to offer than just penalties. I mean, like, if they can still capture the form that they ended the season,
yeah, so I think that's a
they're gonna
big
win the floor.
condition. I think that's a big condition for I think since it's their first game back, it's gonna be difficult to see how they're gonna get into the groove. I mean, difficult to predict,
Yeah,
sorry, how they're gonna get into the groove. So yeah, so that's why I think it won't be particularly high scoring, and I think they'll win, but I can't see them score too many goals.
yeah. So fair enough.
But I think the
That's
next
all of Saturday's game. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, but I think the next game, Arsenal West Ham, I think that is gonna be particularly high scoring. I can see
West Ham gonna score massive goals. Watch out for Mikel Antonio. He's gonna score 2 goals against Arsenal, and the bubble is gonna break for Arteta. You heard it here first. This is my prediction for the game.
I think Arsenal can go back to back game weeks, scoring 3 goals and keeping a clean sheet. I think
I think Arsenal are gonna go back to back, but I don't see them keeping a clean sheet simply because one, I don't rate the Arsenal defense too much, and with the likes of Sushek, Antonio, possibly even Halle as well in the West Ham team, they might concede a header goal or a set piece, and maybe 2-1 or 3-1 possibly would be a fair prediction.
First game on Sunday looks to be quite interesting. at St. Mary's. It's Southampton versus Spurs.
This
That's going to be. I
yeah.
feel that's going to be a good game to watch. Maybe
That-
Spurs will come out of the shell a little bit more. Southampton, anyway, are going to, just take it to Spurs as well. They might have to sit back Spurs. So could see goals in that game. Would like to see Ings and Kane get on the score sheet. Just start their seasons off, just for the betterment of the league. I would say.
Yeah, I think Southampton are gonna probably have more of the ball, and 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 I think they're probably. I don't know. I think they'll probably edge Tottenham in this, or maybe not. Maybe it'd probably be a draw. I don't think it's going to be particularly high scoring. I think it'll be a good game of football, but I think it's going to be a tight game of football. And when scoreline wise, maybe 1-1, or yeah, I think I'll probably go with 1-1 actually. Southampton, Tottenham 1-1. What do you think, Vishnu?
Yeah, Kane and Ings to get on the
I
score sheet.
Yeah, I would expect Southampton to have more of the ball, as you said, and Tottenham to try and play on the counter. And judging by how Southampton were against Crystal Palace, I see them getting caught on the counter against Tottenham. So I'm looking at 2-1 to Tottenham.
Okay.
Nice. And well, moving on, we have Brighton visiting St James's Park, uh, facing Newcastle. This is going to be an interesting game to say the least. I think Brighton were really good in their last game, so they'll be trying to do even better with that confidence. I don't think they'll be feeling bad about that performance against Chelsea. So if they can just ride that wave, they could cause Newcastle some problems.
Yeah, I think this is also going to be a very good game to watch, or probably one of the games
Yeah, for
underrated
the
games.
neutrals.
Yeah, I think one of the
Yeah.
underrated games of the game week. I think Brighton probably going to edge this one. I think, like you said, they're going to come back with a lot of confidence with the performance they put against Chelsea, and I think they're going to go into this game thinking that they're going to win. And I think that confidence plus the style of play that they have, and will probably give them the edge over Newcastle. So I think probably 1-0. I don't think there's going to be too many goals. I think probably edge them
Yeah,
by a single goal.
I feel there's going to be a lot of chances in the game for both sides. Fast flowing football, like you just sometimes just have those games with two middle teams in the Premier League. It's just back to back action. So I'm hoping for that kind of game. I can see that happening. And yeah, let's see what happens with that. Let's move on to the headliner of the weekend. It is Chelsea versus Liverpool, by far the biggest game, and so quickly into the season as well. What are your thoughts on it, Vishnu? Nervous for the game? What do you think? Like
So
Chelsea are going to do compared to Liverpool?
I think we're gonna see us lining up in a similar shape, a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-2-2.
Mhm.
And we're gonna see a lot more attacking intent right from the off, especially at home against Liverpool, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast. This is a
Yeah,
game Lampard would really, really want to get one over Liverpool. There's a small sort of rivalry brewing with managers trading verbal blows, if you can say that. So I think a really attacking, open game from both sides, which I think Chelsea might just edge it to one.
Yeah, I think I sadly concur. I think Liverpool's defense is nowhere near the expectation that it should be. And I don't think that it's going to be reformed in a single week of training. Against Leeds, there were so many times where Gomez and Van Dijk weren't in the same line, and pretty basic stuff and things that you would probably expect Liverpool or any top six team to be doing. So, and I think that's a lot of rustiness, and I don't think that's just going to get reformed in a week. I think that will get reformed over the season, but I think Chelsea just have probably a little bit more intent and a little bit more, firepower and depth, which will probably, cause them to edge it probably 2-1. Yeah, I concur.
Yeah, just to add to that,
um,
as George said, the high line that Liverpool plays is something that Timo Werner's really looking forward to, I guess,
oh yeah,
to run in
I
behind
can
him. hopefully finish.
He's going to cause a lot of problems. I hope he, just rinses Van Dijk and, just shuts up all those coaches. Sorry.
Well, that wasn't a biased opinion at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just have to.
What are your predictions, Chelsea Liverpool?
I mean, just sitting on the fence with this game, I would say, do Chelsea have any of their new signings gonna, debut in this game? Is Chilwell or Ziyech back for this?
Ziyech is out, Chilwell is out, Silva trained today but is a doubt. Pulisic is also a doubt. So, but Kovacic is back. Kovacic is back after a suspension, so he's there. But none of the others.
I mean,
Possibly none of the others.
if Chelsea played the same way they played against Brighton, which, like, let's be honest, wasn't they didn't have to, get out of fourth gear. They actually, after Brighton scored, they were lucky to get that Reece James goal so quickly, and then they followed up with the corner and subsequently the third goal. So if they have the similar type of performance that like they had against Brighton, Liverpool are going to just cause them a lot of problems with that, with Mane and Salah going forward. So it's going to be an open game. I think it's going to be 2-2, sitting on the fence completely. 2-2, entertaining game. Fast forward. It's going to be fun. The headliner for sure.
Yeah, fair.
And finishing off with Sunday's games, Leicester host Sean Dyche's shithouse Burnley team. Love watching Burnley. I can't wait for the obvious Smashley Barnes goal. So yeah, anyway, Leicester gonna win that game. I would say they're just better than Burnley, you know?
Yeah,
I think 2-0 is possibly a good scoreline.
I can see Burnley get like Burnley would probably score, just a barn burner of a goal from the corner kick or something like they usually do. But Burnley is so much fun for some reason. I don't know why.
it's it's just the shithousery that happens. Oh.
Yeah, it is the shithousery. It's so. I mean, when I think about Burnley, I just think about just real British shithousery players. I love watching them, even though they're really annoying for a lot of people.
Definitely, I think they're one of the most annoying teams in the league to play against. But yeah, I think Leicester are going to get the one up on them. I think they're in good form and they've got a lot of confidence growing. So yeah, I think 2-0. Maybe, like you said, 2-1 where they get a scrappy corner goal. Maybe J. Rod does something in the box.
J. Rod's to Smashley Barnes. Love to see it.
Yeah, so I think Leicester can score 2. If Burnley are lucky, they'll get 1. But Leicester, right?
Yeah. I think the way Burnley is playing, Sean Dyche deserves a shot for the England managerial job.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would love to see Sean Dyche as England manager. Can you imagine the scenes?
Playing with Sancho, Sterling.
It'll be so funny. And the scenes of him like on the touchline at the Euros with Joachim Low is like right next to him, the classy manager that he is, Sean Dyche with his robotic voice. Oh, these scenes, absolute scenes. Love to see. Okay, let's round off the fixtures for game week 2. It's on Monday night, actually. Aston Villa versus Sheffield. Pretty interesting game, to say the least. I think, Vishnu, you would agree with me on that. Like, Aston Villa are going to show a bit more than what everyone's expecting.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be a good watch. But I see Aston Villa scoring and taking the win here at home, 1-0. And possibly the new boy, Ollie Watkins, with another goal. I think it's Villa's game to lose this.
Yeah. And George, I would let you tell me your prediction for the final game of game week 2, Wolves versus Man City at the Molineux.
Wow, this is gonna be an interesting watch. I think City are gonna.
That's a tough game for City. The first game.
It is. It's a top game. It's a tough game. It's a game that they lost last season. Wolves did the double on them last season, so I think Pep's gonna come there with vengeance. and I think it's going to be tighter than it looks. I think City, the last game, competitive game that they played, they lost. I think that's going to weigh. I think these kind of things do weigh in on people, and I think first games of the season are always difficult. But I don't see them losing though. I think it's going to be tight, but I don't see them losing.
I
So
agree with you. Yeah. The
I
City just have too
Yeah.
much
yeah.
going forward to
They,
lose a game at this point. It was kind of amazing that they lost 9 games last season. But saying
as in,
that Pep is going to be back with absolute vengeance, and he's going to probably try to destroy this league for everything
yeah.
it's worth
So I
this
think I
season.
think I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a usual high scoring City game where they absolutely maul teams 5-0. I think it's gonna be one of those 2-0 City
Also,
wins where Wolves are
yeah.
gonna have decent chances, and I think they're gonna have chances that they're gonna wish they had taken better. But I
Let's
think
just hope Adama can do a madness again
yeah.
and absolutely rinse that backline.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, or Jimenez doing some crazy magic in
Yeah,
the box. Yeah, but I just don't see. I don't see City losing this thing with all the fire
Yeah.
that Pep has.
Same.
I think we are
okay, and
I think
finally,
2-1 or 2-0 to City.
yep,
Yeah.
uh, that sounds good. And finally, just so this is like our first episode, talking about the new Premier League season. Just who do you think is going to win the whole damn thing, George?
Oh, I think it's gonna be City. I hate to say it, but I think it's gonna be City this year. I think with their depth and their just brilliant performances week in week out. I think Pep's gonna do show the world why he thinks or why he is regarded one of the best managers in the world. So yeah, I think it's City. I think Liverpool
And what
second
about you,
probably,
Vishnu?
Liverpool second probably, and then maybe Chelsea United. So that's probably my top four.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I think I'll have to agree with George here. City are probably the potential champions for me this season. I see a close battle for second, third, and fourth, not as it was last season, where there was considerable difference between first, then second, and then between third, fourth, and fifth. So I think it'll be a much closer call this time, with City first, Liverpool second, Chelsea third, and United probably.
I have to
What
say,
about you, Caleb? What are your thoughts?
yeah, this is going to sound really boring, but yeah, I guess I have to agree with both of you, and exactly how the standings that you said. It seems predictable, but one thing that the Premier League has shown us all these years is it's not going to be predictable. Maybe yeah, City might win the league, but there's going to be a whole lot of stories that are going to be written this season. I can't wait to let it unfold, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you guys and have you guys on the podcast more often. And we should do this probably next week as well. Round off game
Definitely,
week 2 and look forward to game
definitely,
week 3.
definitely, a lot of fun.
Definitely,
Thank you for that.
definitely. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And we should also have a look at all the transfers as well. So we will do that maybe on deadline day or the day after.
Yeah, definitely.
Any
Exciting times.
any final thoughts before we sign off for today?
No, nothing from
I
me. I just want.
think this is one of the. I think this is one of the seasons we can really look forward to in terms of the real show on offer for Premier League. So really looking forward to it and sharing you sort of having these discussions and sharing my thoughts with you guys going forward. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's very true. I think we've got a lot of amazing influx of amazing
I
talent
agree.
rather, that just got injected in this transfer window. And the best part is not even over yet. There's still a lot more potential signings. You got Thiago, you got Regulion, got Bale, you got so many superstars that are still left or could potentially arrive. So I think this season definitely one to watch. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be filled with a lot of memories. Exciting times.
Nevertheless, even if there's absolutely no new talent, we're going to watch the Premier League and we're going to love every bloody second of it.
Goddamn right.
Okay, so yeah, I think let's wrap it up here. Thank you for listening to the Off Football Journal podcast. I've been Caleb. Joining me today again, like I said, was George and Vishnu. Thank you for coming on, guys, and speak to you soon.
All right, guys. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Good evening.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.